Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and this is another report on the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny part.
Alright, now welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. Hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. Now, we talked a lot about WFAN over the last, since August. And really, I've been annoyed with them for many years because they do not treat our Mets fairly. If you're a Met fan, you know that you don't listen to WFN. If you're watching this video, you just despise some of the personalities on the radio station. A lot of them are very unfair. Like I said for many times over the last few months, according to them, whatever the Mets do is wrong, and even when it's right, they do it wrong. I feel that the Mets don't get treated fairly, and we've seen this over the past few months, and you've seen through the playoffs. If you followed me for all this time, since August, you see all these different videos of the contradictions, the sort of the shilling that they do. They're constantly attacking the Mets. I really believe a lot of them are being paid off by the Yankees to attack the Mets and take away from all the nonsense that happens. That does happen. It doesn't happen to the Yankees, but because of these videos, they've tamped down a lot of the sort of negativity that they've been going at the Mets. First week of pitchers and catchers, they attacked the Mets, saying there was no reason to follow the club, no reason to follow the season. Oh, what great publicity! Somebody who's a partner with CBS and broadcast the Met games. Oh, that's great. And it got so bad that they attacked Brandon Nimmo. The coconut known as Brandon Tierney called him a fake hustle guy, which I'd never heard before. And it got so bad that they brought in Frank Fleming, who was probably the worst Mets fan in the country. He's a guy that works for Boston. I would mention this, and I thought this was funny yesterday. I was watching the broadcast of the Met game, like I said, and during the broadcast there was a commercial for Wounded Warriors, which is wonderful. But Dave Portnoy was on there. You can't tell me that was not a local spot. That wasn't a local spot by the Wilpons. That the Wilpons brought Dave Portnoy in a commercial. I just thought it was funny because the Wilpons do own SNY. They're still skulking around. The Wilpons, I would mention, are involved with the football stadium across the street. I mean, not the football stadium, the soccer stadium that they're going to put in where the junkyard is. So they're still around. They're still skulking around the ball club. Now, we go back to WFAN. The other dope from the mid-morning show, and that's Sal the Spaz Licata. This guy is a jinx. Spaz. 2 years ago, you said the Mets are going to win the division. Spaz, shut the F up about Juan Soto. Let's play the season out. We have a 2024 season to play. Okay? The Diamondbacks won 84 games last year. They got to the World Series. If Paul Sewald had not blown a couple of games against the what the hell who won the World Series last year? It doesn't matter. If he hadn't blown games against the Rangers, tells you how memorable the Rangers are. If he hadn't blown those games against the Rangers, the Diamondbacks had a good shot winning that series. And quite frankly, the Mets have a shot. Looking at this club, they won 75 games last year. There could be an improvement on this team if they get good starting pitching. Starting pitching can't be any worse. Well, anyway, they want to jump the gun now, and WFAN, they're all over the fucking place. Because I think I've disrupted them so badly, they don't know which end is up. They're contradicting themselves, which they've never done before, and they haven't done this in a long time. One show saying one thing, one show saying another thing. They're all over the place because they're trying to be fair, and it's complete total confusion. So you see the effect that these videos are having on them, and you watching them, what effect it's having on them. So here's from Odyssey.com. I'll get to it. This is in 3 parts, this video. Headline: Spaz calls for Mets fans to cheer Juan Soto when Yankees come to town to lure star of the Queens. Duh. He's on the opposing team, Spaz. What the hell would you want to cheer him? You don't cheer a Yankee. Let him. He knows the deal here. He's been booed plenty of times here at Citi Field when he was with the Nationals. This is stupid. It really is, folks. After hearing Buster Olney of ESPN report that the Mets fully intend on making a run at bringing in Juan Soto next winter, Spaz was ready to throw a preemptive party in Queens. You have a bad track record, Spaz. Shut the F up. Don't jinx this thing. This is going to be a very delicate signing. Yes, I do think he's going to come to the Mets. I firmly believe it. You're a fucking asshole. Shut the fuck up. I felt this before he got traded to the Yankees. I felt it after he got traded to the Yankees. Steve Cohen is going to do all he can to land Juan Soto. Shut the fuck up, you fucking jinx. Don't be a bigger jinx than Joe Beningo. And when's Beningo going to retire? I have a question for these two dopes, Beningo and Licata. Hey, assholes. You guys who thought that the Mets should not have traded their veteran players, Scherzer, Verlander, and David Robertson, how do you feel now when Scherzer and Verlander are both starting the injured or starting the season on the injured list? Just imagine if the Mets had listened to those two idiots, the Mets they'd be screaming about how the Mets didn't trade them and gotten good value. Just think about that for a second. Who the hell is listening to them? Just think about that. There's something there, Spaz said. I feel it. I firmly believe so is one who wants the most money. I firmly believe the Mets will offer the most money. I firmly believe he's going to be a Met. Sal's calling on Mets fans to stand up and cheer a Yankee when the Bombers visit Citi Field this summer. That's stupid. I think Mets fans should do something they've never done before. Cheer Juan Soto. Cheer a New York Yankee, Spaz said. That's what I want from the Mets fans this year. Mind your fucking business, Spaz. You want to cheer him? You cheer him. He's on the other team. You don't do that. He's on the other team. Don't jinx this thing. Jesus. All right, so we're going to talk about how screwed up everything is at WFAN. Everything is all messed up because I've been doing these videos and they're like all over the place. But the one thing that is the constant is the Mets don't do anything right. And this has been going on for 35 years. They've been saying this, and even when the Mets do something right, it's wrong. Now, one of the worst programs on the radio station is the morning show. Okay, the morning show used to have a great program called Imus in the Morning, and Imus was the boss. Now, what's different now as opposed to back then is Imus would just rip into them, and they couldn't say nothing. None of them could say anything. They had to take it. And now you have really Boomer Esiason, who's done absolutely nothing with this program. He's more remembered for having Craig Carton there and then going into federal prison than really what he's done on that program. And now he's got a real nut job there that he works with Greg Giannotti. But they have been hammering the Mets for many years, really hard for the last 3 years, because their buddy Dave Portnoy and Jeff Wilpon did not get their wish. Jeff Wilpon wanted to continue to own the Mets, and that didn't happen, and he's close friends with Portnoy. And Dave Portnoy obviously runs Barstool Sports, and they've ticked off about it. They're very angry about it. And they try to undermine everything that Steve Cohen does, and they've been doing that. And you can see through the playlist, if you follow the playlist, you'll see all the examples of it over the many years. The last few videos I did of Boomer Esiason laid out a lot of craziness, and really just stupidity. Now, we have not forgotten about 2024. 2024 has not begun yet. We're less than 3 weeks away from opening day. But a lot of these WFAN people want to talk about 2025. And like I said, whatever the Mets do is wrong. And when they do it right, it's still wrong. Now, the Mets the first year had a bad injury situation with Jacob deGrom and Francisco Lindor. They lost the division. 2 years ago, they won 101 games. For some reason, somehow the Braves were able to cash them, having played 800 baseball from June on. I don't know how they did that. And obviously, everything collapsed last year due to the fact they had older pitchers. The starting pitching was a disaster. Now, the Mets decided they were not going to sign anybody this offseason. They said that. And everybody knows it. So it's not a well-kept secret. Everybody knows that. But Boomer and Gio have been hammering the Mets so hard that they forget about 2022. Gio in particular says it didn't happen. Pretends it didn't happen. You can't pretend something didn't happen when it happened. Okay? He has attacked the Mets in a negative way. He's called these players that have come in and signed here schmucks. Because he doesn't know them. He doesn't know anything to begin with. He knows his little impressions. That's about it. And complaining. But here's from Odyssey.com. Boomer and Gio, looking ahead to 2025 already is bad. Well, you should tell Spaz Licata to stop doing that. But what had the Mets done to build faith? Well, they put a pretty good team on the field 2 years ago, but they were an older team. Quote, I'm excited about baseball, but for Mets fans, it's a little different. You don't talk for us, Norman. You are. First of all, I want to ask you a question. Have you been to a Met game after you directed not to go because you wanted to know about Steve Cohen's business? Do you pay for tickets? Boomer, do you pay for tickets? I don't think he does. As far as I know, there's only one person at that radio station that pays for tickets. That's Evan Roberts. He's the only one I know pays for tickets. Boomer, I guarantee you, Boomer doesn't pay for shit. He gets invited or he asks for tickets. I'm worried about our starting pitching. They're not our starting pitching. It's their starting pitching. But I'm hoping my starting fielders are going to go into some bounce back seasons. I hope he didn't rude, right? I say this. Boomer said they're going to be a little bit more consistent, and it's. I could do the voice, but you won't really hear it. The scratchy voice, the Boomer voice, rah. And it's going to be a little bit more spread out. We got a very good outfit right now. We need key guys to stay healthy. So I'm not as negative as some people around here, but I'm still hopeful. You see? But they have been negative. They have to be positive because I've been hammering them and hammering them and hammering them, and it's not going to stop. That surely referenced Spaz Licata, who said on SNY this week that he's already looking forward to Steve Cohen making a splash and signing Juan Soto next winter. I would mention, Spaz Licata wants the Mets to trade Pete Alonso. He has said that many times. But on SNY he says nothing. Nothing! And the hut means zero, nothing, nada. Quote, does Sal say that both Soto and Alonso are going to be here? Or is he just saying Soto's going to be here and Alonso's going to be gone? Because I don't see them signing both, Boomer said. Of course not, Boomer. You know Boomer lost a Super Bowl? You know nobody makes fun of Boomer on the radio station. They're all afraid of Boomer because he's a bully. Now this is from the Nut Job. How sad is it for this Mets offseason that we're already on the next season? Gio asked. Gio, you're the guys. You guys are talking about it. Nobody else is. And the callers you bring in, they're not random people. They screen them. Let me tell you something about these radio stations. They screen the calls. Okay? They screen the phone calls. So when people call in acting like complete total lunatics or regular people that say stupid shit, they put them on the air. They put them on the air on purpose. So don't tell me that these callers represent the Met fans. They represent what you think are Met fans. Now, I could continue to read this nonsense, but they just want to attack the Mets at all costs. You know. I don't need to know what Greg Giannotti thinks. He's an angry guy. He's got got a couple of screws loose. But the reality is that they are very angry people. And they're pissed off that their content way of doing things is a dying, the sports radio is a dying medium. It really is. Talk radio isn't, sports radio is. Because sports radio is negativity, hammer the local team at all costs. It doesn't matter what the team does. You hammer them and hammer them and hammer them. They can't lose a game. They have to win every single game. They have to go 162-0. And if they don't go 162-0, what's the problem? If you go 162-0 and lose in the playoffs, you're a terrible team. A disgrace. An embarrassment. And assholes like Sal Licata would wear a paper bag over their heads. And this is another report on the insane asylum known as WFAN. Subscribe.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha, to the funny farm.